And it matters not where you are, only who you are inside, Tommy.
I don't understand. You know me?
All things are revealed in time. Come. Listen to a tale told by my people for generations. Connected to your inner self. You have believed in him, trusted him, and he has seen you through. Only those true of heart can achieve this.
Great, how are you guys?
Doing good. It's hot here in LA. Well, we're all LA based, but just chilling this summer.
I love the heat. I'm glad it's here because we had a lot of May gray days.
I'm wearing all black right now, so it's worse.
Yeah, some June gloom, but
at one point, I thought a storm was going to happen.
Yeah, there's a storm supposed to happen. Surprisingly, did not. And hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast, special podcast interview of the Morphin Network. We have here my good friend Leo, aka Psychofox. What's up, Leo?
And we have good to be back.
And our very special guest today is the one and only young Tommy Oliver himself from Power Rangers Season 2, My Morphin Power Rangers Season 2, and My Morphin Alien Rangers, Michael R. Gotto, who played a young Tommy Oliver.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for jumping on.
Yes. And I'm going to say, Michael, this is a big honor and pleasure for having you here. As you know, I am a huge Tommy fan. So, of course, and also helping honoring the late, great Jason David Frank. So thank you so much for being our special guest.
Absolutely. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So let's get the interview started. So, Michael, how did you get started with acting?
Actually, it's kind of an interesting story. I grew up doing martial arts. And my dad, who was my karate instructor, he actually did martial arts with Jason David Frank. Way before JDF was on the show. And after JDF got the part, he took my dad down to the set to kind of walk around and show him around. And they ran into some producers, and JDF said, "Hey, my friend here has 3 sons." And the producers were like, "Oh, really? Do you have a picture?" And my dad, being my dad, of course, had a picture. It was a Polaroid. And we're talking the early 90s. And so we got a call about a month later asking us to audition for the part of young Adam on the show. So originally we were thinking for the part of young Adam. But we showed up to the audition. My brothers and I walked in and they said, "You're here for young Adam?" "No, we're switching you on the spot to young Tommy." And did the audition. Got a call back 2 weeks later, and they asked me to read for the producers, and then they offered me the job.
Amazing.
It was great.
What I like about like especially those like episodes where you're in like it was kind of like cool, like we got to see you guys in the younger selves, and like it was like a fresh air because like as a kid, you know, I wanted to be a Power Ranger when I was a kid. So looking at it, oh, a kid can be a Power Ranger. So early like those are early times when like kids could become a Power Ranger. So we had Power Rangers Turbo with Justin, but
No, that's really cool. Actually, the interesting thing is I hadn't even seen the show when I got the part. So when my dad said, "Hey, you're going to try out for a show called Power Rangers," I thought it was a Western because of the word Ranger. But it ended up being one of the most popular shows in history for kids and even adults 30 years later.
What's funny is around that time Walker Texas Ranger was out, so that's even funnier.
I remember that show very well.
When did you get your passion to learn martial arts?
You know, I started learning martial arts at a very young age. I'm pretty sure it was ever since I could walk. My dad would teach us at home, and then he started some karate studios and learned that way through different instructors. And eventually, around the same age as I was on the show, I became an instructor, and I was teaching other kids and even adults martial arts. So goes back a long way, and very much part of my childhood.
Interesting. What kind of form of martial arts did you actually learn? Like what?
So it was a system called Red Dragon Karate, and it encompassed 7 different styles. So I'll just name a few: Shotokan, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido. Yeah.
Interesting. Nice. Especially Aikido.
Actually, it's the system that JDF started in. And that's my dad and he knew each other.
Okay,
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's awesome. Now, sorry, can you later?
Was that funny enough? First martial arts I remember doing when I was a kid was Kenpo karate.
Cool.
And then,
That's awesome.
yeah. And then for me, it was Aikido because my dad used to teach it when he was a cop. So he taught me for self-defense. So
Very good.
Very good.
I would say, people should learn self-defense.
Yes.
And hopefully never have to use it. And I'm
Yes.
blessed that I can say I've never had to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But have the knowledge.
Yes, that is true. So speaking of going back to Power Rangers, what was the audition like, or what was the process like for Power Rangers?
Well, I kind of described what happened, but I'll share a funny story. So after they said, "Hey, you're going to try out for young Tommy," they give us the sides, and the sides are basically, part of the script, and we had to read some lines, and then we had to show them some martial arts. So in the middle of my audition, there was a camera recording me and someone there to watch, and in the middle of my performance, I would typically do a front handspring into the splits. Well, the room was kind of small, so I did the front handspring, and as I was coming around, my legs knocked over the camera right in the middle of the audition. And I honestly think that's likely what made me stand out, because that usually doesn't happen, and they were probably like, "Call that kid back who knocked over the camera."
I want to add on, did you already have that long ponytail hair, or did they ask you to get it?
So that was the thing. Remember the picture I talked about that my dad gave the producers? So in that picture, my 2 brothers and I had short hair, and that's why they originally want us to try out for young Adam. But we had been growing our hair out. I call it the karate cut, but really it's the Tommy look, the Tommy cut with the ponytail. And so by the time we got to the audition, we had already grown it out, and I had that for martial arts. more than anything, not even realizing it was going to benefit me in this audition process.
Nice.
But actually, let me mention what happened in the final interview. So when I got called back to read for the producers, they don't give you anything up front. You literally hand you lines as you're walking into the room, and you have to do what's called a cold reading. So the producers would read some lines, and you'd have to just go for it without even practicing. So that was what the final round was about.
Speaking of young Tommy, so you played young Tommy in both season 2 of Power Rangers, especially when they introduced Zed, and then going into the final portion of season 3, which was now Alien Ranger. Can you tell us your experience? What was it like playing Tommy in season 2 and then Alien Ranger? And was there ever really a difference?
Well, in season 2, we only did 2 episodes, as you know. Rangers in Reverse, I think they're called. I honestly had no idea how big the show was. I was excited to have the opportunity, but I didn't fully grasp, I think, the magnitude of it all. And so I really enjoyed myself, had a lot of fun with my castmates, had fun doing some martial arts on the show. But it was about a week of filming, and that was it. So it went pretty quickly. And then our episodes aired, and that was fun. You know, to see friends and family watch it and get excited. That was really cool. That second season, though, we got called back for 11 additional episodes with the Alien Rangers. I think I just had a newfound appreciation for the show and for the opportunity, and just wanted to make sure I nailed the character, and to play Jason David Frank of all people is like the greatest honor, and I got to do that, you know.
My favorite scene will always be the one we fought Rito at the bus. I don't know why, but like I actually rewatched that episode yesterday before this interview. I don't know why, but it felt like very like nostalgic. I can say nostalgic, but like it was cheesy, but it was like innocent cheesy to like I felt good about myself. Like I don't know what was the feeling. Like kids, like I don't know. Like I said, like before, like it's our dream as kids being Power Rangers, and the fact that you with your cast, the young versions of your cast, like fighting an actual monster without powers. That was actually kind of inspirational. I could see that like as a kid, maybe in that time, like, oh, they're not really like powered, but they're still, being Power Rangers, like doing your duty to like help these kids, saving them. So that's what I like about like you playing as Tommy, and you actually you're still leading them, even though when you're like you depowered to a younger self, younger power yourself.
Yeah, that was a fun scene on the school bus because if you recall, I came up with a plan to throw items at Rito to get him off the bus, and the director was like, "Here are all these things, like have at it." So we were throwing as hard as we could at him, and he was in his costume, right? And we thought he was protected. There was one point when he goes, "Okay, wait. You guys are throwing these things way too hard. Can we just not throw them as hard?" But anyway, it all worked out, and it was a fun episode.
One of my favorite parts of that episode was looking at the Dare logo. for everyone at home, for our younger audience, Dare was a big thing back in the 90s. So almost every show, live action show on Fox Kids and on Channel 5 and everything was pushing Dare beyond belief.
Well, you got drug free. It's all about being drug free. That's for sure.
Of course, like your fight scenes. What was it like filming your fight and stunt scenes in Power Rangers, both seasons?
It was really cool. The first season, when I have a fight scene with the putties, remember we're playing dodgeball, and then the putties show up. And we don't really, at that point, we didn't know as kids that we were Power Rangers, but these weird putty beings came out creepy monster type things came out to try to, take over. And we got to fight them. And the director came up to me and said, "Hey, you know karate, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, I want you to choreograph your fight scene with the putty." And so I got to come up with what I was going to do, how I was going to defeat him, and choreograph that, and then bring it to the show. That was really fun. I don't know if you remember the scene on the beach or at the lake where Goldar and Rito show up, and he buys a plan to kind of trick them to attack. And I pretend to fall, and they think that it's all over, and I said, "Nope, you got that wrong," and I kicked the device out of the hands. Anyway, it was fun. And then there was a scene where young Kat and I, we were running from the Tangas. Remember the birds, the Tangas, in season 3, and got to push some trash cans into them. I think a gate or something like that. And actually, funny story about that. During one of the rehearsals, could have been one of the actual takes, I actually fell. I tripped over something. Could have been my own feet. And ripped my jeans, skinned my knee. I was bleeding, all this stuff. So they had to give me a new pair of jeans, clean up my knee, and do all that. But it worked out in the end.
What's cool about the scene in the beach? I actually thought that you did fell. Well, of course you did fell, but the fact that you actually sneaked attacked him, like a Trojan horse. That was actually smart. That was actually good writing.
That's how you got to defeat those monsters any way you can.
Exactly.
One of my favorite scenes. Actually, it was part of your episode. It was when Tommy went on his spirit walk and found the Star Zeo crystal key.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched the episode before this weekend to get prepared, and I'm like, this was a very well written episode, which would later culminate with Zeo when Tommy finally found his brother. They made amends, and I think, you know what? I think using Kid Tommy for this episode was the smartest idea, because at a young age you learn that only people true of heart can reach and touch the sky and stuff like that. And I love that part.
Thank you. No, that was a really fun episode. It was pretty special, to his heritage, and to be able to go back and do that, visit where he came from, and then also to find the red Zeo crystal that made him the red Zeo Ranger for the next season. It was just huge. I mean, and I forgot until recently that when I grabbed the Zeo crystal, I don't know if you noticed, the red went through my body.
Yeah,
like
foreshadowing.
Carved it, yes, and it was really cool.
What I like about that episode too, well, the parts where they did show, that Tommy was part of, Native American descent. That was actually, of course, as a kid with Native American descent, actually a big deal, because usually back then Native American descent was not shown a lot in kids TV shows, and that was actually a big deal. So
yeah,
just like that.
Yeah, the guy who played True of Heart, he was awesome and guided me along the way. It was cool.
For wrestling fans, it's called long-term booking. There you go. Anyways, do you have any fun behind-the-scene memories with your cast, both the younger and older versions of your characters?
Oh, yeah. I mean, with my cast, we had great times at on and off set, in between takes, during takes. We just had a blast. A lot of laughing. We would do school together because we had to do so many hours of school each day. They had a teacher on set for us. That was cool. And then we would hang out either after filming or on our days off. We would meet up at Magic Mountain and spend the day there together. And we would have reunions for several years, even after the show, but then that kind of faded. And stopped doing that. But I've been able to reconnect with a few of them over the last couple of years doing the conventions. It's been such a blessing. And then the older cast, they were just so amazing with us as kids. They were welcoming, they were encouraging, positive, supportive. And then, of course, JDF, I got to share a story. So after my last day of filming, he walked with me out to the car with my dad. He said, "Hey, very proud of you. I wouldn't want anyone else to play me. And I want to give you something." And he took off his communicator and he hands it to me. He's like, "I want you to have this." And I looked and I could see the original green paint under the white paint. I was like, wow, this is from when he was the Green Ranger. And they just painted over it for his episodes as White Ranger. And he gave that to me and I still have it to this day. And that was a really cool thing that he did.
I want to say as fans, thank you for like honoring his legacy, going to conventions. It's a huge deal to us. Like JDF's been awesome. Like the first time I met him in person, like I waited 6 hours in line just to meet him, but he entertained us. Like that's respect. Like this is MorphiCon 2018. I was in line, and then like he was entertaining us, and then the con closed. This was in Anaheim. And the convention was supposed to close, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm gonna stay here till last fans standing." And
he
then
was
like
amazing.
he was amazing, and like I remember the story like where there was this lady and this fan and his daughter, like she wanted to just show like just a picture, right? And wanted to show him his like her toys, and JD asked he wanted to get them signed, and then they said no, we didn't have much money to get signed, and he did everything for free.
Oh yeah,
And,
I mean that was his part. He was so generous, and in fact, he's the reason I'm even doing conventions today. Mm-hmm. So, about a year or two before the pandemic, he called me, and he was like, "Hey, you really need to do conventions." Mm-hmm. I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like Comic Cons and different conventions. I was like, "I only know about San Diego. There's more." He's like, "Dude, they're all over." I'm like, "I didn't know that." He's like, "Yeah," and people will actually ask me about you and ask how you're doing and what you're up to. And I was like, really? They want to know? He's like, yeah, so come out. And that's why I got connected with Power MorphiCon and did my very first convention in August of 2022. That's where I saw him, unfortunately, for the last time. But I really believe that was just a nice opportunity to see him one last time, and now I get to continue to do it in his honor. So
yes, going back to JDF, I need to have many stories, but besides the wonderful story he did share about the communicator, what was also another fond memory he had working with Jason David Frank, or another memory you had with him, personally or business wise, or personally and professionally?
I haven't shared this story in any of my interviews, but maybe I referenced it. But I think a special moment, which was an unfortunate moment, was when he asked us to attend his brother's funeral back in 2001. I'm sorry, I think that was it's right around that time. And the fact that he wanted us to be there for him and his family was truly meant a lot. And I'll never forget that.
Yeah, if you guys fans remember, the person who played Tommy's brother was actually his real life brother too. They had true heart.
Yeah. Eric Frank. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Again, like
I just got goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, I'm serious. I'm getting goosebumps right now. But again, thank you for honoring his legacy, Michael. Like, this as fans, we were still like healing on what happened, unfortunately, 2 years ago. And like, especially like, I'll say this, like, it wasn't for JDF, this page would not have been successful, because like when we first started, we were just doing iPad. We just legit did an iPad. We didn't have like a camera set. This guy knows. We were holding iPads.
I got you. When we first formed the page, I was at Comic-Con 2018. I used my Google Pixel phone. I have a Pixel 7 now. I had my Google Pixel phone. I am interviewing Andrew Gray and Brendan Mejia. I think I interviewed Karen Ashley at one point, if I remember correctly. And I just walk around and be like, hey, just like this the whole time. Thankfully, and one of them was in cosplay. So I'm like, no one's going to watch this. But then next thing you know, one of the guys we interviewed were like, weren't you that character in Comic-Con? It's like, come on, let's do it again.
No, that's awesome, guys. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and you did. And
Yeah,
that's great. But now look at where you're at.
This way, like going back to JD, I do want to thank him because 2018, because we were still fresh new. We started 3 months before Morphicon, and like JDF, because he saw us with the iPad. And of course, he was very busy with the fans. I was like things like, I don't know, maybe he will not do an interview because we just have an iPad, like an iPad with just like a stand. That's it. And I was just wearing a blazer, and I swear to God, when he saw me, he was like, hey. Are you an interviewer? I was like, yeah, but I'm still new. He's like, okay. And I was like, no. Let's do an interview. And everyone was like, oh shoot, because there was this person like telling me I don't think he's gonna interview because he's gonna be too busy. And then like once I went up to him, he's like, hey, let's do an interview. I have like 5 minutes. Let's do this. And then like after I did an interview, he told me, he's like, I hope that this interview gets a lot of views and your page can grow. And then when I uploaded that interview, our page did grow. And then I saw him again in 2021. And I thanked him for it. I told him, because he remembered me. He's like, hey, and he asked me, did your page grow? I was like, it did. And I thanked him for it after 3 years later.
Wow.
And I was able to interview again one more time before 2022.
That's awesome.
So yes. And this time I actually used a better camera. I actually used a professional camera. So he remembered iPad.
We upgraded. We're using Canon cameras now.
He even said we upgraded. So it's like,
Mike, we talked about this earlier before the stream started. Since you retired from acting, you are now working in the educational field. You went from being a teacher to a principal, and now working at HR. Can you tell us the process in transitioning to this point in your personal career and life?
Yeah. So after Power Rangers, a year later, I went into high school. I wanted to be the first in my family to go to college and graduate from college. And so I did that. I attended Pepperdine University and got a bachelor's in psychology. And my senior year there, I took some education courses because I was interested in possibly teaching and fell in love with it. So did that, and we went straight into a master's program with where you also got your teaching credential. And I started teaching high school English that August of 2004. And I was a high school teacher, became a high school dean of students, assistant principal, and then a middle school principal. And then I moved over to the district office, and I was director of human resources, and now I'm the assistant superintendent of human resources for my school district. So now I hire teachers and principals and other staff for our schools.
Funny enough, your story is very similar.
An application.
It's an application. But
what's that?
He's like, give
I said, I'll say my application.
No, like saying, like, funny enough, your story becoming a teacher and educator is very similar to like Tommy's, like becoming. I don't know if you knew, like after my Morphin, after his Turbo, he became a teacher. And Dino Thunder, very similar, eerily similar.
I didn't continue to watch the show, but I heard that happened. What is ironic is, I didn't share this, but in 2014, I graduated from USC with my doctorate. So I guess he was Dr. Tommy Oliver at that point, and
Yeah.
I had my doctorate.
Yep. It became the Black Ranger.
God love it. God love it.
You can't make this stuff up, right?
I know. It's like similar to, because when I found out that when you became a teacher, I was like, very similar to your character. Very similar character in real life.
Pretty cool.
I didn't even know you
It's
were
funny.
actually your doctorate too. So again, very similar.
It's funny how two of us in the group are on a career path of being teachers, and one of our favorite characters in Power Rangers was a teacher while we were still kids.
There you go.
Any advice you can give to your fans who want to take on acting or work in the entertainment industry?
Sure. I think it's just don't give up. Have fun and try to enjoy the process. Excuse me. There may be a lot of letdowns, a lot of disappointments, but the right door will open at the right time. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But enjoy the process. Enjoy going to the auditions or sending in your footage. Try not to stress over it. Just enjoy the experience, so that you have no regrets.
All right.
No regrets, no surrender. Well, okay, so my last question, without breaking any NDAs, if there are any NDAs, are there any upcoming conventions or appearances that you can announce right here to the fans?
Yeah, you know what? This has been kind of a light year for me. I've been very busy with work and other things. In my personal life, I have 4 children, and ages 10, 8, 6, and 4. And so I was able to coach my son's t-ball team and be there for my kids in their various sports and other activities. So the only thing I have on the schedule for the rest of this year, for now at least, is Power Morphicon in August. So really looking forward to going back to that again. That was my first convention ever 2 years ago, and can't believe it's been 2 years. Here we go.
All right. So again,
Real quick, as one father to another, I want to say a happy belated Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. To you as well. It's awesome. I'll say this: it's besides being a husband, it's the greatest role I'll ever play.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I got a 2-year-old right now destroying the room, but he's also playing a piano. So I'm like, you know what? Go ahead.
Awesome. So now is the fan questions, and thank you guys. Thank you for listening for this. Thank you for listening to this interview and watching it. Now, time for you guys. So, Boken Kawato, what made you want to become an English teacher, and what is it your favorite lesson to teach?
Oh wow, I haven't gotten that question before. I always enjoyed my English classes. I think I had really solid high school English teachers, and so when I was deciding whether to become a teacher, I knew I needed to pick a subject area because I was more interested in teaching high school, and that was the first one that came to mind, and really enjoyed teaching kids how to read, speak, write, and yeah, it was great. The other part of that question was favorite lesson. I would do what's called a Socratic seminar with my students, where we would take a question or topic and have really great conversations and dialogue about it, usually related to a text we were reading. Another lesson I'd love to do is literature circles. So we would take a novel and I'd break the students up into groups and have each person with a role, whether it be the text analyzer, illustrator, someone to talk about theme, whatever it might be, motifs, and go around and do that was just a blast with them as well.
Nice. And then, okay, continuing spoken. If you can bring yourself and the rest of the Carrier cast back to the show, how would you write them in?
Wow, another, is it Boken?
Yeah.
Kabuto, great creative questions. Let me think about that. I think it would be cool to maybe bring them back closer to when they became. So they showed us as kids, probably elementary, maybe early middle school. And I know the Power Rangers were technically high schoolers, but maybe that gap in between to flash back to right before they became Power Rangers and what they were doing at the time and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then Johnny Goddard, our fan, says, "Hey Michael, you did a great job playing Tony Oliver and Power Rangers from Power Rangers. Your fan, John."
Thank you, Johnny. That means a lot.
That's probably going to go with the multiverse rule on how to bring it back. Multiverse.
Oh my god. From our sister show, the Barry Show, what color Ranger Tommy would you choose?
Oh, wow.
So he was 4 colors, technically. Oh, Fire Ranger played 4 colors, yeah.
So I was primarily the white, right? And then I found the Zeo crystal that made him red. But I think if I had an opportunity to go back and play him as a kid, it would probably have to be the original green.
All right. Let me ask you this: evil Green Ranger or heroic Green Ranger?
Heroic. Absolutely, yeah. You gotta bring the goodness into the world.
Exactly. Okay, John, welcome again. If you had to make a Ranger dream team with you, Tommy as a 6, who would you recruit for your red, blue, red, yellow, green? No PR Rangers, everyone from a different team.
Okay, from a different Power Ranger team, like one of the different casts. Is that what
Yeah,
that
different
means?
cast. So basically, you cannot use your own cast. So it's your own.
Okay.
It's your own dream team.
Wow.
So you're the 6th Ranger. So yeah.
Okay, for red, because I know him fairly well. We became friends about a year ago. Rory Travis from Beast Morphers. So
Yeah.
for sure. Black Ranger, I'd have to go with Chance Perez from the current cast. He actually grew up in this area that I live in now, and he knows one of my wife's cousins where he used to work over here, and he's just a cool guy. Pink, would have to say Hunter. She's awesome. And then yellow, you know what? I really connected at a small convention out here in LA with Allison. I can't recall the season she's from, but Allison K. Yes.
So Yellow Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffers yellow.
Which season was that again?
She was season 10.
Okay. Yeah. And that would be fun. Did I miss a color?
Did you miss a color? Yeah.
Let's see. You said red, black.
Rory.
You said pink. I didn't catch the pink one again, but you said yellow, and then we're missing blue.
Oh, blue.
Pink was Hunter.
What's that?
No, you said pink was Hunter. Just Leo.
Blue.
Oh, Hunter, do you know? Okay.
Blue. Let's see. You know what? Jazz from Beast Morphers as well. Good guy.
All right.
Yeah, I pick him.
Right. Oh, and what are your top 5 favorite musical influences?
Oh, jeez. I listen to a lot of Christian music these days. So, like Newsboys, they're really good. But if I go outside of that realm, definitely love. So I grew up listening to like Creed, Linkin Park.
Oh yeah.
Stained.
Oh.
Who else? Let's see. And then some classics. I remember growing up, my dad would blast Def Leppard and dating myself, but Guns N' Roses.
Classic.
Now, Heaven's Door.
Classic. Oh, this is a good message. So, our sister page again. What loving message would you tell JZF right now?
Do we miss him? And we wish he was here. But that he's loved and his legacy will live on.
Respect. And then again, they said, thank you for keeping JDF's legacy alive, Michael.
It's an honor.
Final.
Oh my god.
Because they heard you sing.
I did. Just a little bit. I tried just a little bit.
Oh my god. Okay. Again, so that's pretty much it. Okay. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching this awesome interview with Michael R. Gotto. And before we leave, Michael, we always ask our Rangers this, if you can you perform your morph for the fans?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. You guys are a blast, and I hope the fans enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all in person, either at Power Morphicon or another convention somewhere in the world. And remember, it's morphin' time!
You said it! He said it! Oh, before we leave, John Sher says happy anniversary this weekend, Michael.
Oh, thank you, John. Yes, my wife and I are celebrating 16 years. So,
Hey.
that's why I'm not at Stop and Pop in Atlanta, but I wish all my friends and beloved fans a great time. Be safe out there.
And Kari Boomer says, can't wait to meet at PMCMs, and I got a story about JZF. Oh, okay.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yes.
Can't wait to meet you.
Yes. So again, guys, thank you so much for spending this lovely Monday evening with us and with the awesome Michael R. Gotto, aka the young Tommy Oliver. Again, before we leave, my good friend Leo, where can you find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter X. I don't know what they're calling it nowadays. Find me on Twitter at @TheRex_Fox. Find me on my Instagram, TheRex_Fox. I posted shouts to my fiance for the loving message for Father's Day yesterday. And you can find me on twitch.tv/RecklessFox. I am coming back slowly but surely. And we're going to play some video games this summer. So, Ryan, where can the people find you?
Instagram, DancerBoy247. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Morphin Network. And Michael, where can he find you on social media?
I have Facebook and Instagram, and both handles are the same. Michael R. Gotto, Gotto.
Awesome. Again, thank you guys so much. And again, Michael, see you at a future con. I will see you at Morphicon, definitely. But yeah, so as we say goodbye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Long way, boys.
Thank you.
Long way.
Long way.